He was praised as a genius and dismissed as a fraud. His writings shaped both revolutions and monarchies. Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel left behind a philosophy so influential yet so impenetrable that it became one of the most contested legacies in intellectual history. Was his greatest crime not in what he thought, but in how his words were written and misused? Welcome to Philosophy Files, where dangerous ideas, forbidden thoughts, and the lives of radical thinkers take center stage. Born in Stuttgart in 1770, Hegel devoted his life to building a system of thought that claimed to explain reality itself. Logic, nature, history, politics, art, religion, all, he believed, followed a rational unfolding of spirit. But his language was dense, his sentences winding, his terminology elusive. Even admirers admitted that Hegel was hard to read. His critics went further. Schopenhauer mocked him as a charlatan, accusing him of dressing emptiness in pompous words. This obscurity became one of Hegel's first scandals. Philosophy so murky it seemed like an offense against clarity itself. Yet this very obscurity gave Hegel's system an unusual power. Because his categories, dialectic, spirit, and negation, were abstract, they could be reinterpreted in radically different ways. For some, this was depth. For others, dangerous ambiguity. After Hegel's death in 1831, his legacy split like a cracked mirror. On one side, the left Hegelians, most famously Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, took Hegel's dialectic and turned it upside down. For Hegel, history was the self-realization of spirit. For Marx, it was the material struggle between classes. What Hegel called the unfolding of reason, Marx recast as the inevitability of revolution. The master-slave dialectic became a key to understanding oppression. Contradiction became the motor of history. On the other side stood the right Hegelians and conservative readers. They saw in Hegel's philosophy of right not the seeds of revolution, but a justification for the Prussian state. Hegel wrote of freedom realized in the rational state, and to some this meant endorsing monarchy, hierarchy, and nationalism. In this reading, Hegel was not a radical, but a philosopher of order, the intellectual guardian of a conservative society. And so the same man became simultaneously a prophet of communism and a prophet of the authoritarian state. His philosophy, difficult to penetrate, acted as a prism, bending ideas into opposite colors depending on the angle of approach. The debates only intensified. Some, like Karl Popper, accused Hegel of paving the way for modern totalitarianism. Others, like Herbert Marcuse or Charles Taylor, insisted he was a thinker of freedom whose complexity had been misunderstood. The fight over Hegel's meaning has never been settled, because his writings invite both profound insight and profound misuse. The case of Hegel is not about exile, execution, or a courtroom drama. His crime is subtler, but perhaps even more dangerous. Writing philosophy so obscure that it could be read as anything and therefore used for anything. His system promised total clarity, but left generations arguing over whether he defended freedom or justified tyranny, whether he unlocked the future or shackled it in jargon. In the end, Hegel's story warns us that ideas can be just as perilous when they are unclear as when they are radical. Ambiguity itself can be explosive, and the legacy of Hegel shows us. Sometimes the most dangerous philosophy is the one that refuses to be pinned down. So what do you make of this? Was Hegel's obscurity the mark of a profound genius, or the flaw that allowed his work to be twisted into tools for both revolution and repression? Share your thoughts in the comments. And please keep in mind, this series is researched with great care and passion for philosophy. Still, in the vast landscape of sources and interpretations, details can sometimes be missed and represented imperfectly. If you notice anything that needs correction or clarification, we at the Hegel-Haus Museum truly appreciate your feedback and input in the comments.